Here we are in Chena Marina, Alaska. I'm going to be traveling over to Ivanof Bay. I'll be landing on water today, so I'm taking the amphibian version of the Kodiak. I haven't actually flown this one to water before, so it should be interesting. Conditions for the takeoff. Partly cloudy. It was snowing earlier. Not showing any precipitation anymore. QNH 3031 now. It's enough as economy flight, so I'm going to go ahead and start the flight. Get the passengers loaded in, and I can go ahead and close all the doors, not open the engine covers, and go ahead and close this one, and then close that, and then close the top of it. There we go, now all the doors are closed. Jump in. Alrighty. Turn on the power. The screen is on. Turn on the beacon. I need to turn on the fuel. And ignition, and engage the starter. Looking for 15% on the NG. I'll introduce the fuel. There we go. Fuel's coming in. Got ignition, ITT rising, NG rising. ITT has peaked. All good. Didn't go into the red. Alright, we have a good start. Stabilized, turn off the starter, turn off the ignition, fuel pump to standby, alternator generator on, avionics. Next, open the inertial separator, go ahead and turn on the climate controls. Alrighty, now let's load in this GPS flight plan that I stored earlier. There we go. Load that one. 50 miles. I'm going to go ahead and zoom right in. I have to go over here to the runway. What I learned last time. Why my sim crashed. That's over there somewhere, and then I should be able to see the. Now let's get going. Water rudders are up. Landing gear is down though. Alright, release the parking brake. Turn on nav and taxi lights here. Introduce the power. Start turning right. See if we can taxi to this runway. Pressure of 3031, reduce that. And go ahead and bring up the wind. Oh, I'll turn the transponder to altitude now. There's an awful lot of power to get this plane moving in amphibian mode. There we go. Now we're taxiing. Here's the runway. Go for 2 stages of flap here. I'm going to be going up to 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and set that in the altitude. 10,000 feet is set. I'm going to sync the heading bug here. Come on. I guess I'll do it manually. Right tractor, D and change. I'm looking for set 80 knots initially. Alright, let's go. And bring the power up smoothly so I don't over torque it or over temp it. And try and get onto the middle of that runway. RPM is on the prop governor. Bring the torque up. That'll do. 40 knots. You go over a bit of a bump. 70 knots. Rotate. And go ahead and pull the gear up. Let's get going. Turn your feet, start retracting the flaps slowly. While I retract the flaps, the aircraft will speed up. 100 knots. Over 80. Bring the flaps all the way up. And I'm going to go ahead and engage nav mode so the plane will follow the GPS. And off the pulse lights and taxi lights. Temperature is -30. Gonna see if we go through any clouds soon before deciding about the inertial separator and whether I need to turn on anti-icing. Alright, looks like it will be going through clouds, so I'll turn on some anti-icing. And I'm going to lower the prop RPM down to 2000. And here we are, just commenced our descent. You have this mountain here. We're going to have to turn left to avoid flying straight into the mountain here. Would be descending too quickly for that. The wind for the arrival is 328 at 9 knots. So we'll be landing to the north. Again, this is going to be landing on water. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't landed on water yet in this aircraft. I don't want to flip the aircraft. It'll be gear up for landing because it's a water landing, and currently the water rudders are up. I will put them down once we've slowed down to a taxi. Alright, we've gone past that mountain now. Go back into nav mode. Now go ahead and turn the GPS again to a heading of 328 just to give me a wind reference. Well, I do have that wind indicator there, but this gives me more of an indication what's expected on the ground. Of course, the wind might not actually be doing that, but we'll see when we get there. Might have to turn a bit as we come up on these mountains up here. Go and turn on the pulse lights and taxi light and inertial separator. Right, let's come back on track. Now turning, we do have some slightly elevated terrain. I'm going to leave it on 15. Coming up towards this bay here. If I have to, I can turn left a little bit to go through that gap there. We're going over the mountain. See how this goes. I'm currently tracking about there because the wind's coming from our right. Looking at that terrain there, I'm going to go ahead and commence a bit of a left-hand turn here. 50 for now. We can go through the valley. Yeah, we definitely would have hit that mountain if we'd carried straight on. Back up to a heading of 90. Wind is pushing us to the left there. So I'm going to go for a stage of flap. Start slowing down a little bit. Make sure I counter that balloon. Start reducing the power. Go for stage 2 of flap. Start turning around to the right and descending at the same time. We can come in towards the shore at the river there. Oh, not the river, the airport there, where we need to land. There we go. We're there, I'm headed straight back towards it. Alright, I'll start coming down below 500 feet now. Constantly getting buffeted around by the wind. At full flap. 200 feet. And wasn't able to flare quite as well as I wanted, but Go down.